history of unorthodox techniques.
Where should we put my stuff?
What stuff? I don't think you should be moving in with me.
Jack Nicholson was Hollywood's ultimate bachelor, the man who turned charm into an art form, kept the press guessing, and seemed to live entirely on his own terms. But behind the sunglasses and the Lakers' courtside smirk is a truth you might not expect. Jack is the father of 5 children, each with a story as fascinating as any of his films. Born in 1937 in Neptune City, New Jersey, Nicholson grew up believing his grandmother was his mother and that his real mother was his older sister. He wouldn't learn the truth until 1974, when Time magazine uncovered it while preparing a profile on him. By then, both women had already passed away. That revelation, dropped in the middle of his meteoric rise, only added to the mystery surrounding him. From his breakout in Easy Rider to his Oscar-winning turns in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and As Good as It Gets, Nicholson's career has been larger than life. Along the way came high-profile romances, unforgettable roles, and the arrival of children across several decades. Some have chosen the spotlight, others have built quieter lives. And if you are into classic Hollywood icons, amazing stories, and newly discovered insights, then hit that subscribe button. We are on our way to 10,000 subscribers, and your support will mean a lot to our channel. This is the story of Jack Nicholson's kids and where they are now. After moving to Hollywood at just 17, Jack Nicholson started out not in front of the camera, but behind a desk, working as an office assistant for MGM's animation department. It wasn't long before he found his way into acting, appearing in low-budget Roger Corman films throughout the 1960s. Everything changed in 1969 when he stole scenes as the alcoholic lawyer George Hanson in Easy Rider. The role earned him his first Academy Award nomination and catapulted him into the Hollywood A-list. In quick succession came 5 Easy Pieces in 1970, The Last Detail in 1973, and Chinatown in 1974, solidifying his reputation as one of the most magnetic actors of his generation. But 1974 brought more than career highs. While Time magazine prepared a feature on Nicholson, their researchers uncovered the truth about his family, that the woman he had always believed was his older sister, June, was actually his mother, and the woman he thought was his mother was his grandmother. Both had died before he learned the truth. Nicholson later admitted it was a dramatic event, but it wasn't what I'd call traumatizing. It was a pretty dramatic way of finding out about your life. By the early 1980s, Nicholson's career was unstoppable. He won his first Oscar for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest in 1975, his second for Terms of Endearment in 1983, and his third for As Good as It Gets in 1997. Along the way, he became as famous for his personal life as his performances. A lifelong bachelor who shunned marriage after his first, but never shied away from love or fatherhood. And just like Dennis Hopper, Nicholson's children would arrive across very different chapters of his life, each shaped by the version of Jack they happened to get. Jack's first child came during his only marriage. In 1962, he wed actress Sandra Knight, and on September 13, 1963, their daughter Jennifer Nicholson was born in Los Angeles. At the time, Jack's career was still in its infancy. He was acting in guest spots on TV, small films, and writing screenplays to make ends meet. Friends recall he was fiercely proud of Jennifer, but his growing ambition and long hours on set meant much of her early childhood was spent with her mother. The marriage ended in 1968, but Nicholson remained in his daughter's life, often taking her to Lakers games and introducing her to the eclectic world of art and film that would shape her career as a designer. In 1970, actress Susan Anspach, Nicholson's co-star in 5 Easy Pieces, gave birth to a son, Caleb Goddard. For years, Nicholson did not publicly confirm paternity, though he provided for Caleb privately. Caleb grew up mostly on the East Coast with his mother, visiting Jack occasionally. Nicholson's career at the time was on a meteoric rise. The Last Detail, Chinatown, and later One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest all cemented him as one of Hollywood's leading men. During the early 1980s, Nicholson had a relationship with Danish model Winnie Hollman, resulting in the birth of his daughter Honey Hollman. Born in Copenhagen, Honey was largely raised in Denmark, far from the Hollywood glare. This period saw Nicholson win his second Oscar for Terms of Endearment, solidifying his status as an actor who could dominate both drama and comedy. By the late 1980s, Nicholson entered into a high-profile relationship with model and actress Rebecca Broussard. Together, they had two children, Lorraine Nicholson, born April 16, 1990, and Ray Nicholson, born February 20, 1992. Lorraine arrived just after Nicholson's scene-stealing turn as the Joker in Batman, while Ray was born during his run of box office and critical hits like A Few Good Men. And if you are into classic Hollywood icons, amazing stories, and newly discovered insights, then hit that subscribe button. We are on our way to 10,000 subscribers, and your support will mean a lot to our channel. During this chapter, Nicholson was more established and financially secure, able to spend more time with his younger children, often bringing them on set or to public events. Across these decades, Jack Nicholson fathered 5 children with 4 women, each born during a different era of his career, from struggling young actor to seasoned Oscar-winning legend. And just like the roles he played, the experience of having Jack as a father would be very different depending on the time and place you entered his life. Jennifer Nicholson was born in 1963, during Jack's early struggle years. As the eldest, she remembers her father before the 3 Oscars, before the Joker grin became a pop culture icon. She said he always treated me like an adult, even when she was a little girl, letting her sit in on poker games or watch old movies with him late at night. Jennifer inherited his dark hair, wide smile, and love of art, though she channeled it into fashion design. After studying at the Academy of Art University in San Francisco, she launched her own label and later opened a boutique in Los Angeles. She has 2 sons, and friends say Jack dotes on his grandkids. "I'm glad my kids know him as Papa Jack, not just the movie star," she said. Caleb Goddard, born in 1970 to Susan Anspach, grew up mostly on the East Coast. Tall and with the same expressive eyebrows as his father, he entered the entertainment business quietly, producing independent films and writing for television. He's rarely spoken publicly about Jack, but in one interview in the 1990s, Anspach said, "Jack has been there for Caleb in his way. Their bond is different, but it's real." Caleb has avoided the Hollywood scene, preferring a private life in New England. Honey Hollman, born in the early 1980s to Danish model Winnie Hollman, bears a striking resemblance to her father in the eyes, that slightly mischievous, watchful look. Raised in Copenhagen, she dabbled in acting, appearing in a few Danish productions, but eventually chose a completely different life. Today, she runs an organic food store in Ireland with her partner and children. Honey has said she values her independence fiercely. "I wanted to make my own life, without anyone thinking it was because of who my father is." Lorraine Nicholson, born in 1990, has Jack's smile and the same ability to project warmth on camera. She started acting young, appearing in Something's Gotta Give alongside her father, then breaking out in films like Soul Surfer, 2011. In recent years, she's moved behind the camera, directing short films that have screened at festivals. She once recalled Jack's advice. "He told me, 'Don't do it unless you love it. If you do love it, then give it everything you've got.'" Ray Nicholson, born in 1992, is perhaps the closest in both looks and charisma to his father. The same grin, the same sharp, playful energy. He's building a career in acting with roles in Promising Young Woman, 2020, and the Amazon series Panic. Off-screen, he's known for his easygoing humor and for being his father's regular companion at Lakers games. In an interview, a friend noted, "When Ray walks into a room, you get a little déjà vu. It's like Jack in the 70s. but with his own thing going on. For all five, being Jack Nicholson's child meant growing up with a larger-than-life figure, but also a father who, despite the chaos of fame, found ways to leave his mark in quieter moments. Each has taken some of his traits, the creative spark, the independence, the wit, and used them to shape a life entirely their own. In his later years, Jack Nicholson began to speak more openly about the role fatherhood played in his life, especially as his children grew into adults with careers, families, and identities of their own. The public still saw him as the king of the courtside seat, the grinning rebel in sunglasses, but those close to him knew his happiest moments were quieter. A Sunday dinner with his kids, or watching old movies with his grandsons at Jennifer's house. Jack has admitted he wasn't always the most conventional or present parent. "I wasn't raised to be a father," he once said, "but being one taught me more about myself than any role I ever played." He also acknowledged that fame could be a double-edged sword for his children. You want to protect them, but you also want them to have their own adventures. I learned to step back, even when I didn't want to. That willingness to step back is part of why each Nicholson child has found their own lane. Jennifer forged her place in the fashion world while raising her own family. Caleb built a low-profile creative career on the East Coast. Honey chose a rural life far from Hollywood. Lorraine is building a resume as both actress and director. And Ray is quietly emerging as one of the more promising young actors of his generation. Friends say Jack's relationship with his kids has deepened since he stepped away from acting in the early 2000s. Without the demands of set life, he's had more time to be present. Birthdays, small family gatherings, even just picking up the phone more often. The man who once seemed married to the thrill of the spotlight has found his comfort in something more personal. And for all the awards, the legendary roles, and the decades of Hollywood stories, Nicholson himself has put it simply, "The best thing I've ever done is be a dad. Everything else was just a job." From the sound stages of Hollywood to the quiet moments at home, Jack Nicholson's life has been a study in contrasts. The wild charm of a movie legend and the quieter devotion of a father. His 5 children each carry a piece of that legacy: the smile, the wit, the creative spark, and the fierce independence to live life their own way. Some stepped into the spotlight, some walked away from it entirely, but all of them tell the same story, that behind the sunglasses and the grin was a man who loved them beyond all reason. And now it's your turn. What's your favorite Jack Nicholson movie, and which of his kids do you think carries his spirit the most? Let us know in the comments. We read them all. If you enjoyed this look into the personal side of a Hollywood icon, give this video a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We've got plenty more untold stories from behind the curtain of fame, and you won't want to miss the next one.